All right, Siddarth Bhamre is head of research at Religare Stockbroking. He's joining us. Siddarth, good to have you with us here. Thank you very much. You know, if you have a view on the market near term, do share it with us. But you have 5 picks, right? Which I think you want to highlight: Maruti, Voltas, Exide, V-Guard, and Birlasoft. You know, let's start there. Let's start with Maruti in terms of why you like that name and how's the setup.
Yeah. So, Prashant, firstly, a word on market. So last time, fortnight back we spoke, and you were insisting on giving some buy calls, and we were of the opinion that market is too richly valued at this point of time. And at that point of time, there was a theme that let's invest more in mid cap and small cap because the rally is going to come there. And we were of the strong opinion that we should continue to buy what we are, what has done well, rather than trying to hunt something which has not moved. And now we are talking, 800, 900 points below those levels. Nothing much has changed. Fundamentals are still positive. But positive fundamental doesn't mean that, you buy at any levels. And we still remain of an opinion that this market might have some leg on the downside. And one has to be very careful in what they're choosing at this point of time. So because there has been a decent correction, now we have come out with our New Year report with 5 stocks. It's a blend of, it has a medium-term outlook, medium-term touch to it. And as you mentioned, those 5 names, Maruti is first name over there. So I think we have spoken about Maruti before. All I want to say over here is that the sales numbers are great. And the percentage of utility vehicle sales in Maruti is going higher, which obviously augurs well for the margins. And one comment I want to pass on over here is don't look at just share price. This is the lowest valuation Maruti is trading at in the last 5 years if you look at 1 year PE forward back. So price may not have corrected, but valuations are quite attractive. And this is one of the good buy at current levels. And we are anticipating that soon the stock would touch a 5-digit figure. The other names we want to highlight over here is from consumer durable space, Prashant. Now, if you remember what was happening in this market when post-lockdown, when there was this work from home theme which was going on, everybody went gung-ho on this theme, whether it's Voltas, Havells, or other names, and people spoke about how there would be huge demand and huge spending which would happen, and it did happen. But then that frenzy took valuations at very high multiples. Case in point, Voltas at one point of time was trading at more than 70 times P multiple. Now we have seen correction in prices. Now we have seen earnings catching up, and Voltas is back again into that comfortable zone of around 30-35 P 1 year forward earnings. And that's the reason I believe that the downside for consumer durable names like Voltas is not very high from current levels. And we can again now see a durable growth happening both in earnings as well as stock price. So that's the reason it's buy. V-Guard is also from the same segment. And there we are seeing that, in fact, all these themes, Prashant, they are moving from not just being a consumer durable, but also into getting into home appliances where margins are higher. And that is where, margin expansion, P expansion story would come into play. Case in point, V-Guard, which has more of, South market, has acquired Sunflames, which has more of North market and more into home appliances. So these stories and numbers are now matching, and that exuberance is out. So these stocks are a decent buy at this point.
Right, we take your point. So just for our viewers, benefit, we'll repeat those names. Your top 5 picks, and I presume these are in the order of your preference: Maruti, Suzuki, Voltas, Exide, V-Guard, and Birlasoft. So these are the top 5 picks from Religare for 2023. But let's move away from 2023 and talk about here and now. Siddarth, you've been tracking the F&O space very closely as well. There is this jostle for 18,000 that we're looking at after the declines that we saw all of last week. A bit of a bounce back now. What are your thoughts on where the index and individual stocks go from here on?
Well, I think there's room for downside, as I was mentioning, not just from valuation perspective, but also from futures and options. We are seeing that FIs who started this series with 77% longs in index futures, it's down to 44%, and there is room on the downside. At the same time, we are seeing that let's accept the fact that today's bounce back is FIs minus and DIs plus. FIs are not there in market, DIs are playing. So retail is there. So I'm not reading too much into this bounce back. This bounce back probably can stretch, for a couple of days, can take you to 18,200 or so. But the overall data, the way things have been shaping up, is not very positive. Also, the other factors like, crude oil prices, yes, there is a bounce back, but we don't believe that this bounce back would sustain. Just like equity is bouncing back, crude has bounced back. We might see, further correction there. We are also not very optimistic on what's happening to dollar index. Maybe, at 103, 104, it is taking some support, but quite likely the dollar index would correct. And this again doesn't augur well for equities in short term. We are not talking about, Mangalam, that there is going to be a bear market. What I'm trying to say is, if you look at bird eye view, this market since last 1 year has done absolutely nothing. It's in a range. You need to be very smart that when you get at lower levels, take a contra bet, see where valuations are fine and go long. At 18,500 plus levels, the valuations are not supportive. FIs are not going long despite markets are going up. You don't have to be long. So I'm not saying to short this market. All I'm saying is wait for attractive levels to be in this market rather than being caught on the wrong side.
Stay on, Siddarth. Need to get into a very short break. As we do that, listen in to KK Mystery Wise. Welcome back. In conversation with Siddarth Bhamre of Religare. Siddarth, one of your recommendations for 2023 or the top picks is Voltas. And you spoke, right, that how the valuations are now attractive. In the peak of COVID, valuations were 70 times forward multiple. It's come down to a reasonable 35 times. And that's what makes you interested in Voltas. But if you look at the performance of Voltas stock price, it's languishing near its 52-week high at a time when the market is almost close to its all-time high levels. And in comparison, even say something like Blue Star is up more than 40% from its 52-week lows, while Voltas is, even today, it hit a fresh 52-week low. There is a concern about the company losing market share. So can you tie in, the fundamental concerns about loss of market share with the outlook for Voltas?
So, because there are concerns, Rima, that's the reason it is now available at 35 times, price to earnings. And of course, Blue Star has been doing well, and that the market has been rewarding it. Management is cognizant of that, and that's the reason for further growth, to enhance growth, and to ensure that margins don't fall much. They have entered into a 50-50 JV with one of the home appliances company, and that would set the ball rolling going forward. At the same time, Voltas still remains market leader in AC segment. KP just mentioned about that how housing growth is going to continue to boom, and we believe this story, apart from what Voltas management is trying to foray into other businesses, would provide decent amount of cushion to earnings as well as stock prices. I believe at large, the market can behave the way it wants, but the way we are assessing things, because of the concerns which you mentioned and the corrective actions which management has taken and the way market is looking in terms of economy, housing growth and all, we believe this is a decent place to start nibbling into Voltas, and that's the reason we have this as a buy. We don't have Blue Star under our coverage, and that's the reason we are not doing any relative analysis as of now. But Voltas on a standalone basis looks good.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it there, Siddarth. Thanks very much for your time. Good speaking with you. Season's greetings if we don't speak again this year. Appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Well, the market, by the way,